Have you ever felt like you're losing your mind in a relationship? Like you're constantly second-guessing yourself and feeling emotionally drained? You might be a victim of covert narcissistic abuse, a subtle but devastating form of manipulation. In this video, we'll explore the insidious tactics of gaslighting and reveal a surprising fact about the recovery process that could be the key to reclaiming your life. Get ready to have your eyes opened and your path to healing illuminated. Welcome to BrainGrasp. In today's video, we'll be discussing a topic that's often overlooked but can have devastating effects on an individual's well-being: covert narcissistic abuse. Covert narcissistic abuse is a form of emotional manipulation that occurs in relationships with individuals who have narcissistic personality traits. Unlike overt narcissists, who are easily recognizable by their grandiose sense of self-importance and need for admiration, covert narcissists are more subtle in their approach. They often present themselves as vulnerable, sensitive, and even empathetic, making it difficult for their victims to recognize the abuse. One of the most common techniques used by covert narcissists is gaslighting. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation in which the abuser attempts to sow seeds of doubt in the victim's mind, making them question their own memory, perception, and sanity. This can be done through denial, misdirection, and contradiction. For example, a covert narcissist might tell their partner that an event never happened, even though the partner clearly remembers it. Over time, this constant manipulation can lead the victim to doubt their own reality and become more dependent on the abuser. To better understand the impact of gaslighting, let's look at some real-life examples. Imagine a scenario where your partner constantly criticizes your cooking, but when you express your frustration, they deny ever saying anything negative and accuse you of being too sensitive. Or, picture a situation where your partner promises to attend an important event with you, but at the last minute, they back out and claim they never agreed to go in the first place. These are just a couple of instances that illustrate the manipulative nature of gaslighting. Covert narcissistic abuse often follows a predictable cycle. It begins with the idealization phase, where the narcissist showers their victim with attention, affection, and promises of a perfect future together. This is followed by the devaluation phase, where the narcissist starts to criticize, belittle, and emotionally withdraw from their partner. Finally, there's the discard phase, where the narcissist abruptly ends the relationship, leaving their victim feeling confused, worthless, and emotionally shattered. Understanding this cycle can help victims recognize the patterns of abuse and take steps to break free. The effects of covert narcissistic abuse can be devastating. Victims often experience a range of emotional and psychological symptoms, including anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, and post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. They may feel isolated, confused, and even guilty for the abuse they've endured. In some cases, the trauma can be so severe that it interferes with the victim's ability to function in their daily life. Recovering from covert narcissistic abuse is a difficult and often lengthy process, but it is possible. The first step is to recognize the abuse for what it is and seek support from trusted friends, family members, or a mental health professional. It's important to set boundaries with the abuser and limit contact if possible. Victims may also benefit from therapy, particularly cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, and trauma-focused therapies like eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, EMDR. One of the most crucial aspects of recovery is validation. Many victims of covert narcissistic abuse have had their experiences minimized, denied, or dismissed by the abuser, and even by well-meaning friends and family members. Seeking validation from a therapist or support group can be incredibly healing. You might try online therapy, as being at home in your own safe environment makes it easier to open up to the therapist. In the video description, you will find some useful tips on the most reliable online psychological therapy services. It's important to remember that your experiences are real, your feelings are valid, and you deserve to be heard and believed. Now, here's the surprising fact about recovery from covert narcissistic abuse. It's not just about healing from the trauma, it's also about rediscovering yourself. Many victims of covert narcissistic abuse have lost touch with their own desires, needs, and identity. They've become so focused on pleasing the abuser and avoiding conflict that they've forgotten who they really are. The recovery process is an opportunity to reconnect with yourself, rediscover your passions, and build a life that's authentic to you. Self-care is a crucial component of the recovery process. This means taking care of your physical, emotional, and spiritual needs. It might involve practicing mindfulness, engaging in hobbies or activities that bring you joy, or surrounding yourself with positive and supportive people. It's also important to be patient with yourself and recognize that healing is a journey, not a destination. Forgiveness is another important aspect of recovery from covert narcissistic abuse. This doesn't mean excusing the abuser's behavior or forgetting what happened. Rather, it means letting go of the anger, resentment, and bitterness that can keep you stuck in the past. Forgiveness is about choosing to focus on your own healing and moving forward with your life. Finally, it's important to remember that you're not alone in this journey. There are countless others who have experienced covert narcissistic abuse and are on the path to healing. Connecting with a community of survivors can provide invaluable support, validation, and encouragement. Whether it's through online forums, support groups, or individual connections, building a network of people who understand what you've been through can be incredibly empowering. As you progress in your healing journey, it's essential to develop strategies for maintaining your recovery. This might include setting healthy boundaries in your relationships, practicing assertiveness, and learning to trust your instincts. It's also important to continue engaging in self-care activities and surrounding yourself with positive influences. Remember, recovery is an ongoing process, and there may be setbacks along the way. Be kind to yourself and celebrate your progress, no matter how small it may seem. Recovering from covert narcissistic abuse is a challenging but ultimately rewarding process. By recognizing the abuse, seeking support, practicing self-care, and rediscovering yourself, you can heal from the trauma and build a life that's authentic, fulfilling, and free from manipulation. Remember, you are not alone, and there is hope for a brighter future. Here is another video about gaslighting and narcissistic abuse that you need to watch. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.